Hello techies, I'm Divya here. On behalf of CyberBrainer, don't you think the world of tech is evolving faster than ever? Now is the perfect time to dive in and build the skills that will take you places. With CyberBrainer, we are putting you in the driver's seat of your own future. We at CyberBrainer don't just teach your interest. We believe that knowledge is power, but it's applied knowledge that truly sets you apart. Whether you're diving into data science, mastering artificial intelligence, or exploring the world of cybersecurity, our courses are designed to give you the skills that matter. So let's jump into the session and make the future yours today. Thank you.
Correct. Because it's dependent on the chain. This is the concept of V. Means like we have that, like last one, 3, 2, 1, 1, 0. 0 means like that. Exact. 3, 2, 1. If anything goes wrong here, then we will have the copy on our secondary storage. We can recover from there. Is there any checks has been done, like the checks will happen. Like if something goes wrong, we probably can figure it out. Of course, that's the reason we will have checks. Like that means the backup jobs fail doesn't matter. We would definitely have checks. Checks are very important, critical. There's this mantra we call backups are worthless, restores are priceless. I faced a lot of customers, my own customers, that they were performing backups for years and everything was showing us green, the status. But when they tried to perform the restore, there was corruption. There was this, backup chain missing and all. All those backups were worthless. Why we call restores priceless is because if you're unable to perform restore, then there's no point in performing backups. That's the reason we perform checks after. You can perform after every backup or you can perform every week. We are clear about reverse and forever forward. They are both similar. But the only difference is correct. The only difference is reverse, is merging the previous stage data with the latest one. Whereas whatever forward it is doing, just day by day backup, day by day changes, whatever changes happening, it is just backing up that. Now we are clear about reverse and we are clear about forever forward. And forward. What exactly is forward? Backup is a synthetic backup. Which means every week you will have a full backup. This is forward. The only difference in forward is you will have full backup every week. By default, it does this. Business requirement. There's a requirement. They will do it every week and forever forward and reverse. Reverse is merging merge previous session. Forever. It will do daily work day by day. Day. This is a concept. Which customers you see forever forward? It is when to use forever forward. When to use forward? We will try to understand. Forward. If you want to use forward incremental backup, then use it only for your critical service. All the critical service use forward incremental backup. Forever forward, use it for non-critical. Forward, forever forward, and see reverse incremental backup. You can decide for whatever business requirement it is, you can choose based on that. This is clear now. It is clear. It is all easy to make mistakes. It is very easy. What now? Which option is still available? Which mode is selected by default here? In Veeam, there is forward, there is forever forward, there is reverse. By default, which mode is selected in Veeam? Forever. Exactly forever forward. Then if we tick that in the tick index, it is exactly I told you forever. Forward means incremental. You have to note it down because I think you will forget. If you have a notepad and a pen, write it down. Forever forward means forever forward incremental. It is incremental INC incremental backup. This is I am called in GUI. It will show like this. You should not. It will show like this. This is called as forever forward. Now forward means in GUI you will see a checkbox. I think I did a lab. I do not know in the same lab or the other one. Sync period. Reverse, you will see it anyways. You will see it in the console. I did not. Only two. You can see the reverse and incremental. Incremental, we have to. That makes sense. Most of the organizations they use forever forward. This is used widely. Reverse. I have rarely seen customers using it. And for the you say like for the high priority systems. For example, in our case, they probably have a separate job. Maybe I do not know. I need to check how we set it up. Now it all makes sense. Before that, when I looked at the Veeam console, everything seems to be the same for me. I do not know the difference. I will compare with our environment. That makes more sense to me because I am quite familiar with our infrastructure. And now, then it is very good. If you are already, working on a Veeam infrastructure, whatever topics we have discussed, you can log into that Veeam console of your customer environment. You can tell me what is there, backup configuration, and you can also decide, oh, he is performing forward for these servers. Whatever. Forward for these servers, reverse. I am sure that you will not see reverse, but again, you tell me if they have configured that reverse incremental backup in the environment. No with more, because you know what I did in the past, like I did recovery and things like that. They just showed me click, click, click. I just click and I do not understand what is going on. You know, normally when I start, when I have been selected for this course, I was just sitting with them. I still do not understand, but you know I am familiar with the console and everything. Now I need to tailor. Now I will talk about the extensions of it and we can wrap it up for extension. You mean the file extension of each backup. Main thing I am still don't under. You know, when we create those in that screen, the action tab in the middle, you know the job, what is happening behind the scene when we create a backup job or something like that. I still don't understand what is going on. For example, the one, sorry. Which one? We cancel that. You know they cancel it. They are tiny. Then you can see the action. Job started building. These kind of, I still don't understand what exactly happening here. This one. All these are just assuming. It will take some time for you to understand environment. This is all the background tasks. What is happening? But see, this is just a common thing. Job started. This is building list of machines to process. This is quite understandable that in that job, whatever machines VMs you have, it is trying to process that list. That is understandable. Third thing, it says the size of the machine you're trying to back up. It is 16 GB, which is understandable. And it says changed block tracking is enabled, which means we discuss. There's something called a CBT feature. In few environment, what happens is there will be some problem with the change block tracking in the vWhere environment. If there is any issue, it will tell them there is some problem with the change block tracking and which will result in a full backup. Always remember this concept. If a customer complains that even though he's running incremental backups forever, incremental Veeam backup is doing full backup. In those cases, it is quite possible that change block tracking is not working on the customer's environment. And you have to come here and check in the logs if it is giving any complaint about change block tracking. This one is green, which is fine. And processing the Veeam understandable. It says load. Get a transfer. Now you see which machine is taking more load. It is the proxy. The job of the proxy is to take the load. And it says primary bottleneck proxy because if there is any bottleneck, it happens on the proxy. Job finished. Here I don't see much of the information which we need to. If there are any jobs which require attention, definitely we'll try to look at them. Now, as I mentioned, that's in reverse, whatever forward. If customer wants to perform a full backup anytime he can do it. Click, he can do active for. Because I mentioned that in forward. Forever, it will be incremental. What if customer wants to do a full backup on a certain day? Then Veeam has given an option that he can just click on active for. If I do start, it will do incremental. If I do active, it will do a full backup and it will maintain one full copy. If I have to take one off, for example, I do remember we had situations like one of, for example, a job has 10 VMs and it's running monthly or weekly or something like that. But if I have to take one off, backup for example, if we don't know the impact of a change or something, then we need to take a backup sometimes. Sometimes we notice that if he's able to snapshot, for example, a database server, we can't take snapshot. If we mess up, it's something we need to take a full backup list. Is it like to say that you're talking about you want to do from, for example, a job code. Job 1, it has 100 VMs, but I need to take a one off. From that, and rather than running in a schedule before I, for example, EX1, for example, is an Exchange server. I can't take snapshot. There is no point of taking snapshot in case I have to revert. If I have to take a one-off before I do the change, I need to take a full backup of that server. Just click on the I got a point. In a single job with 11,000 VMs, but you don't want to back up all those 1,000. You just want to one-off. Only one that server. Yes, it is possible. We can do it. I'll show you how to, perform these other things. I really need it. And also, and we do that by and also when we move. What would you say that? How to perform a backup offer? Single note. A job contains that server is part of a job or something. And also in knock. What is it called the? When we restore it, we can rename it as well as I don't want to. When we restore it sometimes, I don't want to overwrite. You can. Those kind of things. That is quite possible. Because I have to do loads of Azure-based things. I never done all these, but definitely I have lots of jobs to do, like database servers. And I think you have to do a few things in the coming days. Like database servers in Azure. And they have to restore a certain database to certain dates. That's in Azure. Then I was thinking, when I can take it full. Not snapshot. I can take a full VM backup. And then when I restore it, I don't want to mess up with the original in a P. And these are the things I really useful in my environment. Like many things, we don't know the impact. I don't want to mess up with anything. When we restore it, how to rename it. And for example, let me see one example. For example, an Exchange server. I restore it to a previous date, maybe 10 days. The store point or something. When I restore it, we have two servers. The live server and the one I restored it. Yes, definitely we'll have two servers. One will be off, isn't it? How, for example, I don't know how this. What about the IP address and things like that when we restore it? Is it the same IP address or? No, it'll be different. I'll explain it. These are the things I in real world because I got the concept and never done it. We may use that in the labs, but when we practically, because in labs definitely we will have how to perform resource and all. You need to understand a bit of networking when you talk about IP and all. How networking works is, this is my live server. Each machine or each server will have an IP address and an host name. Let's say that P for this is. Now 192.168.2 and the host name is live. I want to recover this server. It is up and running. This is. I cannot have the same IP and the same host name on the recovered server. Because this IP is already in use, this host name is already in use. And that the network will not allow. It will say that and machine is using this. You cannot. You have to give a different IP manually or you have to leave it to the network. It will automatically assign an IP address to the machine. There are two options. Is it you who can do it or let the software do it? Second thing, host name. While performing recovery, you have to give a different name. You will have an option. Maybe what I would do is I will give like this. And that's for life. By default, it will not overwrite your machine or replace it with the restore. It will give an option to this, but you will also have an option to override the existing VM. Unless and until you select that, it will not overwrite it. Now let's say this machine is off. The live one is off. You're performing a restore of the off machine. Can I have this IP and host name same in the recovered machine? No, I don't think. It's been allocated to that, isn't it? Maybe store somewhere in the DHCP. It is allocated, but it is off. If it is off, then even the DHCP or network cannot detect it. You can have it because, see the MAC address, the network interface card information has to be passed on to the DHCP. The DHCP will check which server is active, which is down and all. If it is off and you assign it here, it will take it. That's the difference between restoring a live server, restoring an off server. Most of the environments, what customers do is live server. They only recover for testing purpose. Why do they have to restore live server? They don't need to. When the server is up and running, when everything is fine, why do they have to restore it again? Even if they want. They just want to test it, just for testing purpose. In case if my server crashes, in case my server goes down, in case it hits the production, will I be able to recover it? For testing purpose, they do it. Most of the times they restore the whole VM is when the machine crashes or the software crashes, anything happens. They recover the entire VM. Apart from that, most of the times they would restore files, folders, or they will restore application. Like if the Exchange database is not functioning and if they deleted a mailbox, they go ahead and restore database or Active Directory objects and all. That's how it happens. That was your. I will show you how to do is how to perform a backup of a single node for job context. Any other questions you have in your environment which you're doing on daily basis and you are unable to understand those topics, you can feel free to get those and let me know. It would be helpful for you will learn quickly because you're already working on a physical environment, on a live environment. After my class, if you start working on it, it would be very easy for you to understand. What I was doing at the moment is, like any tickets for this VM related, pass it over to me. That's what I'm doing at the moment. I didn't get any. We don't get more VM issues, I think. But what I will do is I know a few things like we need. I desperately need to know. I will go through those and I'll let you know. These are the things always happen, like if we do any high priority system, for example, mainly database system, we can't take snapshot. Backup is the first thing we do, the backup just in case we need to revert. Then when I revert to backup, I need to make sure I'm doing the correct process and things like that. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.